I'm here to tell you that you'll never reach your dreams unless you watch until the end of this video, and you'll know why I'm saying you will never reach your dreams, but you'll also learn how to reach your dreams in playing in college or being the best player on your team or making it to the MLB. But this just doesn't work from being an athlete. It works in all aspects of life. Now, what qualifies me to speak about this? Well, if you're a baseball player, I've accomplished everything you're setting out to do. I went from growing up in a rough area. I mean, to be honest, the hood. I didn't know it was the hood until I traveled across the country and realized that it was the hood. And then from there, I went to UCLA, was the first in my family to go to college. And then I reached the major leagues, which is the highest level of baseball. So with that said, I know what it takes to grind, to hurt, to go through pain, to reach your dreams. I know what it takes. And with that said, let's start. So there are three things I'm going to talk about right now, and there are three words I want to define. So the first word is mediocre, and the definition of mediocre is of only moderate quality. Another way of explaining it is common. Now, if you have this dream of playing in college, if you have this dream of playing in the MLB, you are someone that aims to be uncommon, because not that many people actually get to those levels. So in order to make that dream come true, you can't be moderate, you can't be common. You have to push the boundaries, you have to work a little harder. Now, let's talk about identity. Now, the definition of identity is the fact of being who or what a person or thing is. In other words, it's who you are or what you do. For example, if you were going to talk about a player on your team and you're going to introduce him to someone else, and let's say that player is pretty consistent with the bat. They're usually hitting 400, 500 in tournaments. They just absolutely rate. Well, when you introduce him to that friend, you're going to say, this player is a shortstop and they're a consistent hitter and they rake. They hit 400, 500 every tournament. That's his identity. That's who that player is. And that's why you explain them in that way. Now, the last and final word is dream. And what dream stands for is a cherished aspiration, ambition, or ideal. So a lot of you guys have the dream of playing in the MLB. So that is your dream. That's your aspiration. Now that I've explained all three, this is where it's at on this picture. As you can see on the bottom, you have mediocre. This is where most people are. It's common, it's easy, and at the top of the mountain is your dream. This is the MLB. This is $1 million. This is anything you want in life, and you can replace it with anything in life. Now, I didn't talk about three things that is in the middle of that mountain. The three things are skill, and to explain, let's take hitting for example. That's actually a skill, and if you improve that skill, then it'll make your value as a baseball player even more higher. So the better you can improve your skills, the better you will be as a baseball player overall. Now, the next one is character traits. Now, this is not anything to stress over, because there's a lot of people that have bad character traits that are successful and players that have good character traits that are successful, but it can help you if you have certain character traits. For example, I am an optimist, and this helps me in baseball because baseball is a game of failure and how you deal with it. So if you're an optimist and you look at the glass half full, it'll help you over the course of playing baseball. So this is something that's really important and has helped me throughout my life when it comes to being a baseball player. And the last one is by far the most important, and it's your beliefs. And those are hard to break. And what they are is something you believe in or what you consider to be true. What I hear a lot is, I'm poor, therefore I can't be rich. And as you and I both know, that's not true. The next thing I always hear in baseball is, I can't afford, therefore I would never be successful. And again, that's not true, because I grew up that way where I didn't have what most people have, and I was able to push past that and become successful. So again, these are beliefs that are holding you back from playing to your highest potential and reaching your dreams. And those are the hardest to break. And how do you break those beliefs? You break those beliefs by your identity. And I know we defined it earlier, but let me go a little deeper in that word identity. Identity was originated in 1560. It was a way to say repeatedly again and again. Now, let's say that you want to get to the top of the mountain. You are at the bottom where everyone's at, and you want to to get to the top of the mountain, let's say that's MLB. Well, in order to go from the bottom to the top of the mountain and defeat that middle part of it, which is the hardest part, you have to build an identity. You have to do it over and over and over until it becomes who you are. For this example, if you want to get to the MLB, you'll have to practice every day. You hear that quote that everyone always says, practice makes perfect. And it's true. You have to get after it. You have to practice so much that it becomes who you are. And I'll give you a life story. So there are two people. There is one of my friends I grew up with, and then there's me. My friend was 5'2" player, very natural athlete, very explosive. He was fun to watch on a baseball field. And in my city, everyone talked about him. He was strong when we weren't strong. When we were younger, he was just the person everyone said he was going to play in the MLB. Now on the other side, it's me. No one really said that back in the day, but I always wanted it. So I always made sure to practice baseball when I could, because it was a way for me to get away from all the hectic that was in my neighborhood. It was a way for me to fit in. It was where I felt like I fit in the most. So I put all my energy, all the pain, all that into my game. Now with him, he ended up getting content. He ended up stopped practicing because he figured he was good enough. His talent ended up plateauing, right? And I ended up just getting better every single day, taking one step after another, just one step. And what I did was I would wake up in the morning, get a quick lift in, then go to school. Then when I came home, what I did was I had to do my homework first, because that was my dad's rule. Homework first before I can go outside. Then from there, what I did was go into the backyard and I'll hit off the tee. I would throw balls against the wall. I literally hit balls off a tee into a fence and put a hole in our gate. And my dad wasn't even mad because I was putting in the work. And then as far as throwing the ball against the wall, that's how I learned how to field balls. And I would take my reps over and over and over again. What ended up happening was those skills start to transfer into baseball. Now, that was just the added work. I still had practice and all that normal people do, the common crowd would do. But putting those extra reps in, it's just like posting a YouTube video. If you guys don't do YouTube, probably don't understand, but you're going like this and you're getting little results, and then all of a sudden it just takes off. And that's how my skills came. It just the same way. It was just little by little, day in, day out, just taking a step. And then all of a sudden I just went up. And on the other side, he just plateaued and he ended up being finished with baseball, didn't even go to college and didn't play professionally. So he regrets that now because he didn't put the work in. He didn't continue to put the work in. He stopped. He didn't make that his identity. And since he didn't make that his identity, he couldn't grow. See, when you do something over and over, day in and day out, you end up learning that skill. It becomes who you are. It's part of your identity. And another thing that happens is you develop the character traits that allow you to be successful. So by doing things over and over, you improve your skills and you develop the character traits that allow you to be successful. And lastly, you break those beliefs that hold you back from reaching your goals and dreams. And that is by far the most important thing. See, if you have some goals that are set at a young age and you practice, and then you accomplish those goals, when you get older, you believe you can accomplish those goals that you set out. For example, that's what I would do when I was younger. I would say, okay, I'm going to do this in this season. And then I would schedule my days. I would execute because I wanted to reach those goals that I set out for myself. And now to this day, that's what I do. There's a reason why I'm posting this video, because I want to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. By the way, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button for me. It'll help me with the YouTube algorithm, and I would really appreciate if you subscribe and join me on this journey as I grow and help others all across the country and world. So go ahead, hit that like button for me right now and push the subscribe button. and join the community. So thank you for doing that. That's the reason why I'm posting, is because my goal is I want to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So I created a plan and now I'm executing on it. And so this now is becoming my identity because I'm doing it so much. I'm thinking about it all the time. I'm pushing myself to do it. That's what you have to do. You have to build the identity. This is how you be successful. This is how you break down all those bad beliefs that you've learned from your culture, from your friends, from just growing up. You have to break it. When you do these things over and over and over, it becomes your identity. So with that said, again, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Thank you so much. I want to get your thoughts. Did this help you out? Did the framework help you? This is how I laid out my entire life, and this made me successful. And I know it will help you too if you just go about it this way. So with that said, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.